You are now tuned into Flippin' the Birds, a Philly Sports Network podcast.
What's going on, Eagles fans? Welcome all to a very special edition of Flipping the Birds, episode 45. I'm Brian Cameron. He's Chris Infante, and today we're joined by a very, very special person, Grayland Arnold, rookie defensive back of the Philadelphia Eagles. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm blessed to be here.
We're blessed to have you on right now, honestly.
Yeah, we do feel very lucky to have you on. It's any player really, but especially you, because your story is very unique. It's you dominated college ball. You absolutely dominated college ball. When you guys played, the first round picks team, Jalen's team, you guys clamped them. And you had 2 picks that game. So it's crazy to your situation, but before we even get into that, tell us about you. What was your journey like to get here? You went to Baylor and all that. What was it like leading up to Baylor and everything like that?
That whole journey, that whole process was different, man. Like I said, I'm from a small town. Like we had at first it was 2A, which is really, really small. Then we bumped to 3A. So I'm from a high school, a town that we've never had an athlete go to a Power 5 college. We've never had anyone go to the NFL. So like that kind of simmers it down. Like, man, I used to make the ladders that you do your footwork drills. I used to make them with chains, just to, So I'm, some people say it's country. Some, everybody had their own opinion of it. But I feel like I'm more of a get it out the mud type style, because every time I went somewhere, I was always overlooked, or you know what I'm saying. Like it was like, now we can go to the next one. It's always been like that. My whole life. So I feel like I've been beating the odds, even leading up to Baylor, even at Baylor. Like my true freshman year, I had asked for number 4, the jersey. And Coach Bennett was like, nah, we're not giving you number 4. You're going to have to earn that jersey. After day 1 of practice, he gave me the jersey. So I can honestly say I've never had a handout. Some guys preach they don't have handouts. They don't do handouts. But I can honestly say I've never had a handout. So I was Sports Illustrated All-American. 6 picks this season, undrafted. Like I don't get handouts, and I'm perfectly fine with that, because it always adds more fuel to my fire. I just grind. I try to stay in my own lane, do what I can do. But I'm me personally, like I'm all about the people. Like I say, even at Baylor, I never was a guy who acted too Hollywood or too good for anybody. Mm-hmm. Like. You ask for a picture, I'm taking a picture. It don't matter what it is. Like, I've always been that guy. So, like I say, I feel like I have a unique story, like you say, and a different story. So that's why I don't ever get sidetracked into the other things.
And it kind of shows. I mean, the Eagles really, really covered you, even though, they didn't draft you. But the undrafted free agent class, like, everybody's looking at you as kind of like you're one of the biggest steals in the draft. Like, hands down.
Yeah.
And Rashad attested to that as well.
Yeah. So during the draft, it was like beginning of the 7th round. The Eagles, they had called me. They had told me, it's like, look, man, if don't nobody pick you, we really, really wanted you. We really, really want you. Howie had even told me that they had a 3rd round grade on me. I mean, I don't know what happened. I guess they just didn't pull the trigger. At the end of the day, it don't really matter, because in my brain, after the 4th round, you still got to prove yourself. So it don't matter if you go drafted or undrafted. And, yeah, it's some money differences in between the signing bonuses. But at the end of the day, if it's for you, then no man can stand against it. God says for you, then it's for you. So, I was a little frustrated. But because I was like, man, like, no disrespect to nobody that got drafted, but I was like, man, I just feel like I'm a really good football player. So whenever that didn't go right, what's next, man? Coach Rule always taught us what's next, because life happens, and when life happens, you have to be prepared. You don't know whenever life is going to happen or whenever something good or bad is going to happen, but you got to be prepared. So I feel like that was just a speed bump, and now I'm on to the next thing.
What are your thoughts on getting to play with Darius Slay?
Man, I don't even know if he know how excited I am. Like a lot of those guys, man, they don't even know how excited I am. Just their knowledge of football, how they live. Like we was all in the team's meeting, and Slay went and hopped in was it Rafe? Stars in the ceiling. I was like, yo, like that's crazy. Like, that we on this same call, like, you're not even on no starstruck or no fan stuff. It's just like, I'm grateful and I'm blessed to be, even in this call with you. Like, I'm happy to be in this call with you, but at the same time, like, I'm ready to compete with you and push you, and you push me at a high level. Like, I look forward to that for real.
And it's very interesting because you're joining a secondary that is struggled in the past, several years. But now, like, we have Darius Slay, we have Nickel Roby-Coleman, we have Will Parks joining the team, we have Kayvon. But like with you and Kayvon, it's kind of like you guys are the investment of the future, because the team really covets you guys as as players, and you can tell by your personalities as well as individuals.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. When you say the team really covered us, I feel like that team, that is a team. I meet a lot of guys in the NFL, and they always say, like, yeah, man, don't nobody care about nobody. Everybody just get their money. They're just doing that. I felt the total opposite. Like Rodney, Rod, man, he'd get on there and walk us through all of the plays and coach us up. And it ain't like he's doing it like, oh, I'm worried about y'all coming to take my spot. No, he really wants everybody to be better. Like, I don't know, man. I just love that atmosphere, because I feel like that was me. What Rod did, that was me in college. Like, it was younger guys that played the same position with me, had the same speed, bigger frames. Like, like they was freak athletes, and like I never shorted them on any knowledge that I had. If I had it, I gave it to them. Or if I seen them doing something wrong, even off the field, I would always, look, man, that ain't cool. Like, I was always trying to be that helpful guy. So, like, whenever I seen Rod doing it, I was like, okay, yeah, they got a team here, because we was all about team at Baylor. We understood that we was all we had, and that's all we needed. So whenever you go somewhere else, you could see a guy maneuvering like that, you could tell that, okay, y'all moving kind of in the same pace of, like, we trying to be a team. We got a goal. And when a team put their mind on one thing and they have that one goal, one heartbeat, it's really going to be hard to be defeated. So, yeah, I feel like that was a great pick for me, signing with the Eagles.
Now you talk about Rodney, and I know Howie has mentioned it before. Do you project just pretty much sticking at safety, or are you think you're going to be a little bit around?
So right now, man, I'm strictly free safety. I study Rod like nothing else. Everything he do, I study it, I watch it. You don't even know it. I even follow his clothing line. Everything he do, I'm watching it. Man. I'm just trying to learn from him, because it'd be amazing to me how much knowledge they have of the game, and how in college I thought I had a lot of knowledge of the game, and it's like, okay, let's humble you, put you back down at ground zero, work your way back up. So, yeah, man. I mean, even though he's a 9-year vet, but he still had that knowledge of the game. And it's not like he has the knowledge where he's like, oh, I'm good, I don't need to learn nothing else. It's like, no, I'm still learning. So it's like, it's amazing. Like, I love meetings. Like, even though you might get in there, you might mess up, you might get nervous. Yeah, that's the part of the game, man. That's how life goes. Like, we ain't just going to jump in there and be perfect. But like I said, I love it all, the whole process.
That's really admirable to hear, man. And another thing, let's go back to your college. You had 6 picks in 2019, and you actually faced as well, not only Jalen Reagor, but CeeDee Lamb, who's going to be in the same division as you.
Yeah,
how you feeling about
man.
that?
I'm excited. I'm excited just because, I've been facing these guys since I've been in college. It's always been a top receiver that I've always faced. Besides those two, I had Denzel Mims at practice every day, so and we practice hard. We hit at practice. So if you get tackled, you get tackled. We practice hard. So it was never like you was ever caught lacking. You got to be on your P's and Q's at all times. So to be able to have, even though it's the pro, so you're just gonna have that regardless. But to be able to have Jalen Reagor again, that's gonna be nice. Just getting that work in every day. I trained with Reagor at Exos leading up to the combine and all that. And he worked hard, man. I love his work ethic. A lot of people, they worried about, because it's like, I didn't really understand what people were saying. He wasn't a first round guy. I just didn't understand it just because of his athletic ability and the things he does. But I don't know if they really understand his work ethic and his love for football. That's what I feel like a lot of people, they missing out on because he loved the game, he loved the game. He was hard, and I got to see it with my eyes, so that's why I really can vouch for it. That's why when he went first round, I was happy for him, man, because, that's my guy. He worked hard. On the other hand, CeeDee Lamb, I don't really know CeeDee like that, but my guy Rashard, he trained him. He said he worked hard. I know he's a competitor. He likes to compete. I love to compete, so I'm ready to compete against him.
Well, thank God on the right side.
Yeah. Now the guy that was throwing CeeDee the ball is now your teammate this year, Jalen Hurts. What do you think about him?
Man, Jalen Hurts. He is a tough cat, man. And because we played some smash mouth football against them, and he carried the ball 33 times. We hit him every play. He got hit so hard one play, I watched his visor pop out of his helmet.
Damn.
Guess what he did? He got up, picked his visor up, ran the next play. Man, it's salute to that boy for real, man. Because he tough. He tough, and he's a winner. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you can say what you want to say about him, but he found a way to get the job done. He's a winner.
So, not only were you versatile on defense, but you also play a little special teams. I think last year you actually ran a punt down for a touchdown. You have tremendous speed, man. So you're joining a team that wasn't as athletic as they are now with all the young guys coming in.
Yeah, I did special teams. My whole career I did special teams, and it was always the thought of, hey, we could put Grayland back there, but it was always like, oh, we just gonna put an offensive guy, So, but that last year, I took the initiative, and I was like, man, coach, let me compete for the spot. If I win it, I win. If I lose it, I lose it. I'll be the backup. I'm not tripping, but I competed, won the spot. Yeah, I did. I averaged about 13 yards per return, but I had one big return for 70 yards or something like that. 70. It was something like that. It was around 70 for a touchdown. Let's see. Yeah, it was fun though, just because that could be a game-changing play. Yeah. They are flipping the position of the ball. You have to catch it. You got people running down at you. But, I knew what it was. I had wanted that position. I liked it. I enjoyed playing it. So, like I say, I feel like I bring a lot of assets to the table just besides football on the defensive end, special teams, leadership, a lot.
Right. You're talking to people who are fans of a team that you play for that had the biggest punt return in history with D-Jack's punt return against the Giants all those years ago. So definitely, it's definitely something that can change the game or even end the game. And DJ, right. But yeah, like Brian was saying, this team has had some struggles in special teams. So just having your speed back there is definitely going to change things. One thing that they like to do is block kicks. The Eagles have been very good at blocking field goals. Have you ever blocked a field goal before?
Yeah, I didn't. Let's see. In high school, I blocked a bunch of them, but whenever I had moved to safety, I was always the guy that was dropping back and for the coverage. So I never really went in college. Never went for the block. I don't know why. I always was confused on why. I wasn't the guy going to block it, but, our scheme was set up for the corners to always go block. So with Coach Rule, that's how it was. So that's what it was. But I feel like I'm athletic enough to do it all.
And we know Jim loves his versatile DBs. Yeah. Jim, you're like the perfect fit for his defense.
Mm-hmm.
Jim likes his DBs, especially his safeties, to be able to come up to the line and blitz or drop back and cover, guard tight ends. Is there a specific part of the game that you enjoy more? Do you enjoy sacking the quarterback, or do you enjoy intercepting them more?
I'm ball first, man. I enjoy getting the ball. I don't care about it. Force fumble, pick up. I'm getting the ball. I feel like my style is a playmaker. Zone hawk, man. It doesn't matter. The ball is in the air. I don't really look at no 50-50 ball. I'll be like, ball mine. That's just my mindset. Now, keep in mind, things can happen. Everybody pros at this level, but in my mind, it's going to stay the same, ball mine. So I'll leave the sacks to the big boys. I'm going to get the ball. Let's get turnovers. Turnovers win games. That turnover differential, it's serious, You get a turnover, you get 3 of them, you get yourself like a 90% chance of winning the game. So, yeah, I'm all about the turnovers.
That's what we like to hear, man. Now you're in a unique position. This is your first year in the league, and then you're dealing with the pandemic as well, where you can't really be so close to people. How are you really finding a way to transition to the NFL, but also kind of walk on eggshells with the virus still looming around?
Yeah, so right now I'm back home in Coops, visiting with my family and stuff. But throughout the weeks and stuff, I go down Houston, train. Man, I'm not gonna lie, it's really tough because a lot of stuff you gotta figure out on your own. Or I got this one trainer that's down here in Coops in the 49 early area, and he got some weights at his house, and we just do what we can. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not as bad as you think if you really want what you're going for.
Mm-hmm.
Because where there's a way, it's a will. And I think back on high school, I was walking the other day. I just took off for a walk, and I was thinking man, this kind of reminded me of high school because it was I never really knew, but I knew I had to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta build a ladder.
That's right.
If you gotta lift weights, I used to go work with my pops in the yard. It was whatever you gotta do, you gotta find a way to do it, but you can't sit around and make an excuse for and not do anything. Oh, I didn't have it, so I couldn't do it. No, that's not the answer. So it just took me back to them days where it was man, I remember I used to, because I was a big basketball guy. That was my sport. A lot of people don't know it, but that was my sport. My last game in Coons High School, I dropped 50 points on the basketball court. That was my sport. So I used to have a lot of nights where I was sitting in the gym by myself. It was Friday and Saturday nights. With everybody, I was literally in the gym. Even though I was in the wrong sport, I should have been on the football field, but I was in the gym. I was doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think about it all the time where it's man, it ain't no excuse for it. You gotta get it done. And that's just the mindset right now during this pandemic. In Texas right now, it's probably 95 degrees right now. And I always try to go out in the middle of the day.
I'm not ready for that yet.
I want to get my work in the middle of the day in the sun, knowing that whenever I go up north, it's probably not going to be 95 degrees. But it does not matter because, that heat with me, it just takes me somewhere else mentally. Every workout, I push myself to a whole another limit.
Yeah, so like you just said, you've been in Baylor, you've been in Texas your whole life, and now you're on your way to Philly. Have you ever played in a really cold environment? Because I'm telling you, we're in New Jersey right now, and November, December, that
gets cold.
Cold.
I can only imagine. The only time I really played the coldest I've been in was probably in West Virginia my true freshman year. Whenever I played against Sheldon Gibson, and I remember playing against him. They was like, it's like, man, he is a freak. He's this, he's that. You gotta watch him. And I was a true freshman. I was like, Coach, let me cover his ass. he's like, get your ass back. Well, I ended up starting that game, and I covered him a lot. Like I had like 4 or 5. It was like 3 or 4 pass breakups on him, like all the attempts. I don't think he caught a ball on me that game. Like they ran a fade in his zone, broke it up. He ran a comeback, broke it up. I really should have picked it, but yeah, like he was one of my first like elite non-teammates that I had to cover.
Mm-hmm.
Shelton was, and he was a freak. Because whenever we kicked the ball off to him, he took it back for like 90-something yards. But yeah, he was a freak.
Now, who else is on that list for you? Not the most freakish non-teammates you have faced. I know we talked about CD already. We talked about Jalen. Talked about Shelton. Who else is on that list for you?
Oh, man. Let me think. Because like besides those, that's like non-teammates, I personally haven't just like lined up and was like, oh, like Sky's, he's that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ray at the line, I've been in the line where it's like, oh yeah, his feet is really, really nice. Like he's really fast. Like CD is like, okay, like he's really, really, his feet is like, like you could tell they've been with a trainer because their feet. It's like, it's not the normal. Like most guys, they get up on that line, they just, boom, they go. You know, it's like, all right, I'm sticking that. But like those guys, they understand leverage and stuff. Like, so it you can have a freakish athlete, but sometimes he don't have the knowledge to use his athleticism. So it doesn't really matter. So sometimes it probably wasn't shown to me. Because I've seen some guys on the tape, and it's like, yo, he nice. And then I get in the game, and it's like, it's like, I don't know what I saw. You know, like, so like those guys, I think that's probably what made them stand out the most. Like besides like everybody noticing them, like to me it was like, okay, they know how to use their leverage. They know when to turn it on and when to turn it off, and they know how to do it the proper way. So like, I mean, I really just can't point out too many other people besides like some of the guys that I played with on my team.
I might have to bring up a sore spot for you for real, because you're going into a season where you're about to face a ton of mobile quarterbacks. You got Lamar coming up, you got Russ coming up, who has never beaten the Eagles, and you got Kyler Murray.
Who the Eagles have never beaten.
Yeah, whatever. And you got
there we go.
I like that. And then you got Kyler Murray, who the last time he played Baylor dropped 6 touchdowns on you guys. What's the secret to containing those guys, and how do you think you're going to fare against the teams like that? Because like you got, like I said, Kyler, Lamar, you got Russ, you got even Dak can move. It's a very mobile year. How can you have success as a defense to contain these guys?
Let's see. So I mean, those are the type guys that's like, man, at the end of the day, you can't just fully stop them. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta limit the big plays with those guys. Like Kyler, he gonna make it happen with his feet. Russ, he's Russ. He got the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So like, those are the type of guys that you're not just gonna go in the game and totally dominate, but you gotta understand that once they make a big play, okay, you gotta move past it and just don't allow it to happen again. Like I say, so I've never played against any of them. Like I didn't play against Kyler. I haven't played against Lamar. I've never played against Russ. So therefore, I can't really just say what exactly goes on the field, but I've watching them. I've watched them. I've watched a ton of film on Kyler Murray. So like, I see what's happening, and it's obvious that like a 3rd and 12 play for him was nothing, because like he either throw it or he will make the play happen with his feet. So I understand that you gotta contain those guys to the best of your ability, but understanding that they're human and they're a really good football player, so they're going to make plays. But you just got to bounce back and understand that, hey, it's 4 quarters, you know. So just limit the big plays on them and stick to the script. Whatever the game plan is, stick to it. Don't, regardless of what happens, stick to the script.
Definitely understandable. So a player like you have a very unique skill set that's kind of a rarity in some cases. Is there a certain player growing up that you kind of like admired or kind of modeled your game after?
Man, I used to love Honey Badger. Like, and it was to the point to where it was still like, even in college, I would watch his highlights before a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, he a dog. Go be a dog. Like, that was always the mindset. Like, because he was always like, you know, but it's like, all right, he's like 5'9", 5'8", 180 pounds. But he's still out there.
He's
you
nasty.
know what I'm saying? And that reminds me of myself. It's like, your presence got to be felt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I play with a lot of high energy. Like, big or small girl you is. Yeah, I'm talking, I'm having fun, laughing in your face. I'm out there. Like, I'm here.
A lot of trash talking?
A lot of, yeah. I mean, it just depends. It just depends. Like, because I can do a lot of trash talking sometimes, but like most of the time, it's fun and games. Especially if you started with me, then yeah, it's fun and games with me. You know, like I don't get too emotional with that. I get passionate about the game where I'm fired up. Like, let's go. Like, that's the type of player I am. But I'm not just going to come up in your ear and just, yeah, I'm not a gnat, but yeah, I'm there. Yeah,
that's really good to hear, man. It's good to hear that energy coming from the young secondary now.
Yeah, like we and as fans and as people who write about the team and all that, it's like the energy is coming back. Like you I don't know if you saw how that secondary was, the whole defense was in 2017 when they won the Super Bowl. They were doing all those celebrations. They were doing the electric slide on the sidelines after an interception. So like just hearing that energy, it just reminds us of that camaraderie, of that team chemistry that this whole team had 2 years ago. But you know, you talk about Honey Badger. What team? I mean, I know you're from Texas, but who are you rooting for growing up?
Uh-oh.
It's okay. It's okay if it, you know, if it's.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. So listen, my sister, she went to University of Texas for basketball.
Uh-huh.
So I was always a UT fan, always until I got into like 9th grade, 10th grade. And I was like, I don't really know if I like them. Like, I liked a few players on their team, you know, but like, because I was always a fish young guy. But yeah, as time grew and it was time for me to start making my decisions, like, even though they did offer me a 4-hour scholarship, that wasn't really my team. So I ain't root for Texas until, you know, I stopped that a long time ago. But
Now, what about NFL?
NFL. I know you're probably thinking the Cowboys.
If it's the Cowboys, it's the Cowboys.
It is what it is.
It's not.
I mean, we don't expect you to go the full – because Kayvon came on here and said, I've always fucking hated the Cowboys. Like, just straight up, just like
hey, and I'm with him. I have a lot of friends who love Cowboys, but I say like I ain't really just had a favorite team, but I always had favorite players. So it was like, I mean, but if I had to pick a team, it'd probably be Houston. Houston was one of my favorite teams, just because of like that was my pop's favorite team, and you know that's who we would watch and stuff like that. But yeah, I ain't really just like I wasn't ever like, oh, I'm going to get this whole entire Houston set, decorate my room in Houston. Like, nah, that ain't never been me.
I mean, feel free to just say that you hate the Cowboys too. Feel free.
Oh yeah. I hate the Cowboys. We're gonna whoop the ass.
That's what I like to hear.
I think that was one of Kayvon's first words was I fucking hate the Cowboys. He definitely said that. So when you said he said that, I 100% believe that.
Yeah,
I know he said that.
That was a big thing that circled. Like as soon as our podcast aired, people were taking that quote and they were running with it. Like even Sports Illustrated Cowboys came out, and then the people were like, "Who the hell is Kayvon Wallace?" I'm like, don't
They were
even
super sour about
act
it.
like you don't know who Kayvon Wallace is.
Right. Come on now. Talking about that. Who is he? All right. Yeah, they wildly for that.
So
Now,
before the podcast, go ahead, Chris.
No, go.
Well, I was gonna say, so before the podcast started, me and Chris were actually admiring the fact that that the Eagles invested in you and Kayvon, as future, the future leaders of the secondary.
Yeah.
Have you really given thought to that? Like, where is you and Wallace in the secondary in the back, like kind of like manning the ship? Because you guys bring a unique energy. Like, you guys both have that very humble mindset, but still have that dog mentality. When it comes to stepping on the field.
Yeah. I thought about that because I didn't at first, like the first month or so. I'll probably say I wasn't really thinking about but it hit me a couple weeks ago that when we was running our meetings, it was just like. Because it was me, Kayvon, and Elijah. We was only 3 in the meeting because we was doing them on our own. And we was like, I was just sitting there thinking, like, bro, like it's literally just us, as far as the, the guys in the back. So like, I was thinking, like, bro, we gonna have to pick up the slack, like, because before you know it, it's just gonna be us. Them vets, they gonna be there and move their different ways. But yeah, it hit me, and it, things like that, though, like, when I think about it, I don't know why. Like, it just turned me up a whole nother notch, and it made me cry harder. But I'll be thankful, man. I'll be just like, man, thank God that, I'm even in this situation, just because, anybody could have been here, but, I was the chosen one. So I'll be thankful, happy, excited, ready to work. I can't wait. I hope they be like, yeah, y'all got to come next week. I'm like, man, like that. I'm just ready to get to work, man.
Now, have they given you any insight on like kind of like a timeline? What's going on? I know things are like kind of shaky right now. They sent an email to all the season ticket holders saying like you don't have to pay right now. You're gonna have to wait a little while. And I know the coaches are about to quarantine for about a week coming up. So did they say July? I know they said July 28th is training camp starts. Is that kind of
yeah, well, I don't know if it's about to be pushed back. I think they had like a meeting today to figure out what exactly they're gonna do. But I know July 28th was like the day that everybody's supposed to really get it started. So
now back to you as a person. What's on your playlist? Well, I feel like there's two kinds of playlists. There's a game day playlist, and then there's just I'm at home. I'm just
turning up in the room.
But so do you have two different playlists, or is it just one straight? I'm listening to whenever it is.
I got about 4 or 5 playlists. Not gonna lie, I got my country playlist. I got my chill playlist. I got my game day playlist. Like, man, I listen to all type of genre of music. Like Trippie Redd, he came out with the #1 rock song in the world, Dreamer. Like, I jam it like crazy. Like, and I jam it. I don't care who's around. Like, you don't like my music, that's perfectly fine with me. I'm chill with that. Like, but yeah, man, I listen to everything. Like, game day, you would think it'd be like upbeat, but like, I'm slow. I'm calm. It's calm. And I'll go way back to Jagged Edge. Like, I'll go way back like that. Like, yeah. But, here recently it's been a lot of Raw Wave, YFN, listen to those guys just because, I like how they talk about the motivation, they keep you motivated. I try to stay away from – I don't just try to stay away. I listen to, like a lot of the new music, but like as far as like the talking about the violence, I don't really – because I listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm not really just about the beat. Like, I'm listening to the lyrics. I like to hear the song. I want to know what it's talking about. Exactly, because I used to listen to just like, oh, this beat go hard. Like, I like this. But then, like, I'll play it, and my pops, he just be sitting there looking like, that's really what you like? And then, like, it started hitting me that, like, he was like, like, man, what is they talking about? And, that kind of hit me different. So, like, I say, like, but it's literally been over the past year, though. that's whenever like I really just changed my whole music. I didn't just change it because I still listen to everything, but like the things that attract me to music was different. Like that's why, like, I can listen to Rod Wave. He cool, man. Rod Wave tough. J. Cole, that's probably one of my favorite.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now I know people are gonna wait for you to say Meek.
Meek tough.
You're Philly now.
Yeah, Meek tough. Just because like I used to growing up in high school, I used to listen to Meek before every game. I had to hear that Meek before every game because like he was talking from a street perspective, but he was always talking about something, and he always had growth in his music. Like if you got some growth in what you're talking about, I'm gonna listen. Like that's just me. Regardless, I don't care if you the country singer or if you rapper or you rock. I don't care what it is. Like I'm gonna listen if you got some growth in it.
I really asked that because I see a 22-year-old with an AC/DC shirt on. I gotta ask music going on. That's very rare to see. Someone as young as you rocking AC/DC. It makes me happy. It makes me very happy. But
not that old, right?
Not that old. I mean, we're only 9 years older. It's all right. We're both 31, so it's not that crazy. But I am rocking the gray beard quarantine beard. So
I
haven't got any grays.
Man, I've been trying to grow something, but I don't.
I'm telling you right now, dealing with Philly media and dealing with Philly fans, you're gonna grow some gray facial hair real quickly. Because I'm telling you, I'm sure you've known already. I'm sure you've seen it on Twitter and all this. People in Philly are relentless. They will let you know if you step the wrong way on a route. Like if you tied your shoes the wrong way, someone's gonna call you out on Twitter. I'm telling you right now. Like someone's gonna So it's like just dealing with the media and dealing with the fans. You'll grow some peach fuzz. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's what a lot of players they were saying. How like look, there's one thing about it. They can love you, and they can hate you in 3 seconds later.
That's true.
But I mean, that's life, man. That's why I'll probably just hop completely off Twitter whenever season start.
I mean, just last week they were trying to trade Zach Ertz.
Right, so, that's crazy.
It's kind of wild. So just to ask, have they given you a selection of numbers to choose yet for yourself?
Yeah. So as of right now, I'm number 33.
Oh, sick. That's nice.
That's Jamal Adams' number.
Yeah, 33.
Jamal, like we got Grayland.
There you go. And I'm saying, no, we have our Jamal Adams now.
Yeah.
33. So, that's right.
I like it. I like it a lot. 33 and 42 in the back.
Yeah.
Now, going on the songs and all that. What's your food? What's the game day food? What's the food you can't live without? Because I know Texas, the food down there is delicious.
The food down there is amazing. Man.
I visited Fort Worth a few years ago, and first thing I went to was the barbecue place down the road. So I needed to do that. So what are you eating down there?
Man, so right now I'm not gonna lie, I've been trying to stay away from all ground beef. That's been one of my things, trying to stay away from that ground beef. All of the fattening food. I've been eating a lot of seafood. I wouldn't say full pescatarian, but kind of in the route of it. That's my thing. But man, I like food. I like that's why I say I can't just say that's what I am, but I try to stay in that route. But man, I say some of the food that so we got this one little place in Coons called Caroline's Barbecue, and it was like top 50 in Texas at one point. I don't know if it still is, but I know that's what it was for like a couple of years. But they bake potatoes, man. Let me tell you. When I say they smack, like they delicious. I love that baked potatoes, and they be so big. It's like fill up the whole plate, the sauce, everything. It's amazing. So that's one thing that like I used to be in college, and Baylor's 3 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
I had a full day, and it was between that Thursday and that Friday, whenever they was open. I was going to get that baked potato. Like, I needed that baked potato. That and this other place right here in Lumberton, Texas, called Roll Seafood. Man, they had
like a seafood boil, or is it like just?
It's a seafood place, but they have the best salt and pepper wings I've ever had. I actually have a good friend of mine who went to Baylor with me. He's down here with me too because he's training with in Houston at Rashard with me.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to Baylor. Harrison Hand. He got drafted to the Vikings.
He was a player we thought the Eagles were going to grab because we thought they were going to draft a lot of corners. So that was something.
Right. He literally right here. He getting out the car. He just went grab. He probably went to Rose. Honestly, he probably went there. But yeah, like they have the best salt and pepper wings ever. And like he would always like, bro, can you give me some? Can you give me some? Can you give me some? Like it was bad. Yo, what you just went and got? Oh, nah, yeah, I thought maybe he had went there, cause like that's like his favorite place. Yeah, and think of this, like you would get 24 wings, and he would get them, and then I'm talking about Rose, and you would get them, and you would get them like the next day. You ate all 24 of them. It's like, man, like yeah, they toxic. I'm not gonna lie.
We gotta make sure. So anybody listening now, we gotta make sure they drop down the best Philly cheesesteak place for you, because when you get there, there's a lot of opinions about this. There's a lot, whether it be D'Alessandro's, John's Roast, or there's a wide range of opinions, and so we're gonna have people drop off their opinions. They're probably gonna get in a fight over it because Philly fans fight over everything. So it's gonna happen. Someone's gonna write down Tony Luke's, and then they're gonna call him an idiot and say, "No, it's this." So we'll get you set up with a good cheesesteak.
Yeah, no, that's definitely gonna be one of the first things I'm gonna have to get. Is a cheesesteak, Philly cheesesteak. That's gonna be one of the first things I'm gonna have to grab because I hear about it too much. Like one of my Harrison, he was telling me about how good they was. And then Derek Thomas, he used to always talk about, man, I need that Philly. I'm like, it's gotta be the best thing ever. Like, it's gotta be the best thing ever. Like, he's like, no, these ain't the ones, because like you can get them around here in Texas, but like, no, this ain't it. This ain't it.
It's not the same.
Yeah,
not the same at all.
You get a Philly cheesesteak anywhere outside of Philly?
It's not the same.
It's not. But hey, Grayland, we know you're about to be real busy, so we'll let you go. We really appreciate you taking the time. It's really a blessing to have you on. And
yes, sir.
Close to see you in the Eagles uniform. We're very excited to see you and see.
I'm stoked, man. Honestly, I'm stoked to see it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate y'all having me. Honestly.
Like, we really haven't been this excited for an Eagles secondary in years, since probably the Asante Samuel days. It's been a long time. I think that was around 2011. So before that. So it's I think I was in high school last time I liked the Eagles secondary. So it's we look forward to you knocking some heads and also having about 3 pick sixes against Dak Prescott.
Oh yeah.
I would not mind that at all.
We gotta take him to the crib. Yes, sir.
So we will see you on game days, Grayland, and have a great summer. Have a great training camp. We look forward to seeing you, and go Birds.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Go Birds. See y'all.
Take care, man.
All right.
Well, there you guys have it. Grayland Arnold. I'm stoked. It's like Kayvon all over again. Like, I'm so stoked. I can't stop smiling.
Like that now, between Kayvon's attitude and Grayland's attitude,
it's so different.
The secondary room is so much different now, just from attitude alone, and then you add in the way they play.
Mm-hmm.
Dude had 6 picks last year. And you heard him. He loves going after the ball. When the ball's in the air, it's not a 50-50 ball. He's saying, I'm going to go get that ball. Yeah. So that's the type of attitude that we haven't had in that secondary. Maybe we've had it in the secondary. They just haven't backed it up.
And it's good to hear that, how Rodney's kind of leading the young guys and saying, like, guys, follow my steps and I got you. It doesn't matter about, if they take his job, which obviously Rodney's grooming them to, take over in a sense.
Yeah, so this was the surprise podcast.
Mm-hmm. No announcements. It was very hard to hold Chris back.
I'm very bad at keeping secrets, but there is another secret coming out on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We are, if you've seen me on Twitter, I've been posting about Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. We are trying to do what we said a few weeks back. We're trying to do a charity thing for cities,
absolutely,
Philadelphia and other cities. So we have something that directly pertains to Philadelphia. We can't say anything right now
But it's big.
But I don't think big is the right word.
Monumental?
Sure.
Astronomical? Out
Sure.
of this world?
You'll see on Monday when we tweet it out. It's going to be fantastic. We hope that you participate.
Mm-hmm.
It's for a great cause, and our guest. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
So guys, definitely, 2 FTB pieces in 1 week. We're gonna keep at it. Chris has been relentless at getting people on the podcast, which has been phenomenal.
You know how Grayland said he's not a gnat? I'm a gnat.
He's legit in that. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm the Puerto Rican gnat. I'm like, yo, come on, hey, come on the pod.
But guys, thank you for tuning in for a special edition of Flipping the Birds. Don't forget to leave a review, comment, whatever it is, bad or good. I mean, it's still the same 2 people that dislike our podcast. We're still waiting for them to come out.
We had the greatest interview with Rashad, and people got
we still got it.
Like, what go get a fucking life.
But until Tuesday, it's Brian Cameron, Chris Infante, Flipping the Birds.
Go Birds.
Yes, sir.